was wondering, maybe kind of the best way to do this would be kind of a mock interview potentially. Yep. So I think we start with that and then do some kind of
chat afterwards.
Yeah, chat about the answers and questions and those kind of things afterwards. And then if I understood correctly, we're gonna get the recording from you and do some kind of blog post about it, and then you're gonna publish it.
Yeah. We'll see what we do with the recording, but I'll record it anyway, and we can discuss later how it turned out.
If it makes sense, yeah.
Super good.
Cool.
So what does your company do?
Well, we are building a digital solution to treat depression using physiological monitoring for individualizing treatment.
Oh, that's a lot of words. Sorry, you're treating this depression with better sensors? Can you try again?
Yes, we are treating depression with a digital solution and using physiological data from your body to make care more effective.
Okay. Well, that it's digital, I kind of understand. They're not going to be so skeptical, but let's try to dump this down a bit. So the people interviewing you will be more intelligent than me. So you're in good hands there. But if I can understand it, they can understand it. So you're helping people suffering from depression by measuring their physiological data. I think is there some kind of, say, body metrics or something? Yeah, that's probably not a good.
Yeah, well, good point. Thanks. So yeah, it's a digital solution, a cell phone driven treatment program that uses data from your physiology, from your body, like heart rate monitoring data as an example, to adjust care and to make it very individual, make it more effective.
What other things do you use apart from heart rate?
Behavioral data, how you behave, how you use the app, and that kind of stuff, and then also data from self-reports, so people answer questions that we ask them.
Okay, and the behavioral data, is that like where I am or how I'm accelerating, or do you open the microphone? Or
well, accelerating, basically, like your exercise or activity data.
Okay, so basically the first two things are just what a fitness tracker does too. Has a heart rate and activity. And the third thing is self-reported, so it's not physiological data, it's just a form like everyone else. So you make an app that help people with depression. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but you make an app that tracks your heart rate and activity, and gives you and forms or surveys, self-surveys or something like that, to get better health outcomes, I think you said. But I'm not sure what that is. So it tells me what makes me depressed, or I'm not sure. Can you tell me?
Well, if you are acutely depressed, then you'd get a referral to our program, and we would be able to treat you with a 2-month program, treating you with different psychological treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy, exercises, mindfulness, meditation exercises, and then behavioral activation, which is also a therapy.
Okay, so I recognize the therapies, and the innovative thing about this is that you use the data to determine what program to do?
Exactly. We customize based on your data.
Can you give an example of that customization?
Yes. So as an example, like someone who's very severely depressed would have different features in heart rate variability and different features in self-report and different features in activity data. And that would then, help us customize the care. So there would be more behavioral activation, very little, if any, mindfulness meditation, and then CBT, and then active chat with our
and is it
therapists that are selected.
And is it multiple dimensions, or is it just measuring how they are along, like how bad is the depression, and then basing it on that, or is this like a multi-dimensional thing? Like it has severity and
it's a multi-dimensional thing.
Okay, so you make an app, tracks my heart rate, activity, and gives me self-surveys, and based on that, you recommend and give diverse treatments for depression.
Yeah, based on all that, we construct an individual program for you that's more effective than traditional care.
Yeah. So it's like a Nike training app, but for depression.
I haven't used that app, but maybe
something like that.
Yeah, my wife uses it. I'm not sure it customizes it that much, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Are there any like fitness
That's a good point.
that like monitor your heart rate and stuff like that, and then give you your assignment of what you need to do? Does that exist?
Well, there's like in cancer treatment, as an example, or in diabetes treatment, you know, they'd be measuring your genome and your genetic testing would reveal certain things about what drugs work, which drugs don't. You know, so in diabetes or in cancer, the individualized medicine, as they call it, is something which is used already, but not in mental health. So it's a paradigm shift in mental health to start doing personalized care based on your data.
There's already other things that do, like you fill out a form and they base your the psychologists will already have this form where you self-report and they customize your treatment for it, right? That already exists, just verifying here? Or?
Well, not really. So like if you go to therapy, then that like face-to-face therapy, then you know, it's very often like just one size fits all. They don't really customize it that much. And unfortunately, it's very ineffective on average. And then, you know, if you use drugs like antidepressants, they're basically all people get the same drugs. There's only like a couple of different options out there. And unfortunately...
Sure, but if you get treated for depression, I assume that from time to time, the psychiatrist makes you fill out a self-report form with how you're doing and stuff like that. That's the whole role, right?
That's correct, but like they don't have any tools to analyze which drugs you should be on and which you shouldn't. So they just blindly test different drugs, and then you know which one responds. Then you kind of determine based on.
I get that, but you're not solving that problem. But hopefully it uses the output of the self-reported, like, oh, it's getting better or worse. I'll probably switch to a new drug or something like that.
Yeah, it's one part of the proprietary algorithm we use to personalize care and make it more effective.
You're gonna subscribe. You're gonna write out medicine. Like you're gonna.
No.
Don't do that.
Digital program with different components that are personalized based on a person.
Sure, yeah. Don't. I wouldn't use fancy words like proprietary algorithms. People can look through that shit. Like it's great, but like put that in your press release. But except when some of you has like done a PhD and they got like this great new algorithm and it's patent pending and stuff like. If it's really impressive, you might want to go into that. Is it really impressive, or is it like 50 lines of code?
We've just filed our first patent on it. It's really impressive.
Okay, cool. Well, then keep doing that. So please disregard. So what you do is customize. It's personalized. Personalized depression treatment based on activity tracking and self-surveys.
And heart rate variability data and heart rate data.
Yeah, for me, maybe it's better to split that out. For me, like activity tracking, I kind of know what that is. like it's more fitness, but okay. Heart rate variability. Cool. So personalized depression treatment based on heart rate variability, activity tracking, and self-surveys.
Basically, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not like, I'm trying to help you select what you want, and they are much better at this. And they'll, if you get accepted into our YC every 2 weeks, every time they start, you're in a group setting. Every time they start, you have to say what you're doing now, because it changes so much during that time.
Yeah.
So. Okay, great. So what are each of your roles in the company?
Well, I'm the CEO and I do fundraising and sales.
I'm the CTO, I'm doing technology and the product.
I'm the COO, I run operations.
Okay, great. We figured out titles and they sound kind of decent. What is operations? What do you do?
Operations basically meaning getting data from our programs, how well they are running, getting all the data, managing therapists, just, running our day-to-day operations, so to say.
Okay, so I would say I'm the COO. They understand that O stands for operations, so I wouldn't repeat that. But operations can be many things. So I would say, like, I'm responsible for data and the relationship with the doctors, for data and doctors or something like that.
Possible, yep.
Cool. And what? Ooh, now I have to think about what they actually ask. I would be curious, like, what makes you uniquely qualified to do this? You hinted at making a patent pending algorithm. Like, tell me more. Did one of you guys do this as a thesis or something?
Yeah. Well, so I previously worked on a diabetes technology startup. I worked in healthcare in Asia and Europe for the past 10 years. So extensive background in doing clinical research, publishing, and developing algorithms in diabetes and glucose monitoring, data analytics, and building medical devices. Raised 26 million in funding, and so that's kind of one part of it. So, and then we have experience from Albert, who's again been building consumer applications being used by millions of people in the US. So extremely good user interface and app design expertise. And then Riku.
Yeah, I worked with Christian in his previous company for 4 years, so learned a lot about the healthcare industry and how it works, and we're kind of basically applying that combined knowledge from all these fields in this new setting.
Cool. That was a good and comprehensive answer. So you guys are really good at personalizing it. Why are you also developing, like, the treatments that people go to? Are you going to do that? Why are you doing that yourself?
Well, we're basically taking components from existing psychological therapies that have been validated independently, and we're kind of creating a modular approach where we can assign different things, different types of therapies for different people at different phases. Which
okay, so you're not winning the originality prize there, which is good, but you're just assembling it, and existing courses and stuff, it's hard to, like, mix and match, so you kind of have to divvy them up a bit, or you have to, like, repackage them.
Yes.
Based on the personalized needs.
Yep. Is this subject, what is classified as like a medical device? Is this subject to FDA approval?
No, not actually, because we are currently framing it in a way, we're claiming to treat the depression symptoms. So we're not saying that we treat diagnosed depression per se yet. So we don't fall under FDA yet, but eventually we'll, most likely want to fall under the FDA, but not yet.
Why is that?
Because then we would become, in the medical world, we'd become much more credible if we have FDA approvals.
Yeah.
So,
and health insurance would pay for it and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your business model?
Well, the business model is that we sell a program to self-insured employers and to health systems, basically insurance companies or payers. And we sell it so that they refer patients to us. And we charge per program per patient.
Ooh, so that's risky, because I'm referring people to a startup if they have a bad experience. I might, that seems like a legal risk to me for those people, but hey, that's why Combinator will help you with the business model. But and how's traction so far? Where are you at?
Well, it's really good. So we have first pilot customers now here in the US. As an example, Palo Alto Medical Foundation, which is part of Sutter Health Group. Then Stanford University Medical School, we're working on a research project with them starting summer. And then in Finland, where part of the team is, we work with a student health system, which is a countrywide health system for providing mental health and other healthcare for students.
Awesome. That's very impressive. I like the fact that it's US based. Sutter Health, I know that. You mentioned Palo Alto and Stanford. I know where that lies. Like that's great. So Stanford was a research thing, and the Sutter Health thing, that was a pilot or something?
Yeah, there's a pilot at PAMF, Palo Alto Medical Foundation, which is part of Sutter Health.
Cool. Are you getting paid?
No.
How many people are in it?
There's 30 people being kind of coming in, physicians mainly from PAMF.
When did it start?
That's going to start actually now in June. So we went through a smaller pilot with a couple of people internally testing it, and they loved it. They escalated it now to the CEO and to the physician well-being committee.
We are working on HIPAA compliance that is needed for them to get started with the pilot.
Okay, so you did a small pilot, it was a success, and now you get to do a bigger one and doing HIPAA at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you have smartphone apps that are HIPAA compliant? Is that possible?
Yes,
yep.
Yes.
Okay.
There are many others already out there.
Cool. And where you're taking this? What's the goal for? Where do you want to be in the next couple of years? 3 years from now, 5 years from now?
Well, we believe that in the future, many currently pharmacologicals or drug-based treatments are going to be replaced by behavior change programs and treatments that can be like delivered through smartphones and through remote interaction. And we see that becoming a very, very well-regarded company in this space, taking mental health care and starting from depression care, taking it on another level with the data, we can make it much more effective, the care. Yeah.
Normally I have a lot more to add, but I don't have a lot to add. This sounds really good. By the way, I like the startup. Like, this is super useful, but also all the answers have been very concise. There's very little for me to add. I like that sometimes some people add, so you got to make sure that as CEO you're never talking over someone else, and that sometimes they give an answer. So, but that kind of happened. People chimed in, so which is good. The state of the company where you're at right now is really good. You had a successful pilot. If they ask where you're at, I would start with like, we completed a successful pilot for the subsidiary of Sutter Health, and now the CEO authorized a bigger, try to find another word than pilot for the second thing that is close to the truth.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
But you want to show progression there. But it's good. I don't see any reason not to let you guys in. Healthcare, that's probably a request for startups, right?
Yep.
Mental health care, big component of it. You guys know your FDA game plan. I have big doubts about like US companies adopting this, but you already got one, so you proved me wrong. This is great. I'm not on a committee, but I wouldn't let you in if I were them. It's good. And the answers, most of the time, the answers are way too long. I'm not sure where you guys learned this, but this is awesome. Did you prepare or something in giving short answers?
Well, this is our fourth mock interview. So
Guys, like you, we've been practicing.
I'm like, well, there's nothing for me to do here. That's because you guys went through this a couple of times already. Great. Well, I hoped I helped out with with the short description. Other than that,
One question. Do you see that it would be good for us to think more about how to frame the introduction?
Yeah, how to frame the company. It might be kind of
So what we are doing, because it took quite a long time before we really got started there.
Yeah. So I would say, hey, what do? We're a personalized depression treatment based on your heart rate variance, activity tracking, and self-surveys. And then if they let you continue, you say, we track those things, and we have a patent pending algorithm to figure out how we should treat it, and then we have the treatments right there in your app.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
That's very good point.
Thanks.
Cool. You're the first ones that actually did multiple mock interviews with different people that I meet. So I like that. Like, look, in business, it's about preparation. If you prepare well, then you're
we're gonna prep some more. We have the interview tomorrow at noon, and we actually have one more mock interview coming up in 4.
Is this your first time applying to YC?
Fourth, but this first time we get to the interview.
Oh, so a four time with the same startup, or?
Well, actually 2 times first with a previous version of what we are now. And then, we pivoted in May 16 from prevention to treatment. And now this is the second time with the treatment approach.
Yep.
Yeah, prevention. Yeah. Good pivot.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much.
And let me know regarding the blog post if there's anything.
Yeah. I'm not sure. You mentioned a pilot and stuff like that, so I don't think that's probably not something you want public, right?
Yeah, maybe not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
And there was so little advice here because you guys were so good. So all the advice is like trying to get your story shorter, but that's hard and custom. So no need for that. Thanks for letting me record it. We'll not use the recording. You don't have to write a blog post.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much, and thanks for.
My pleasure. Good luck tomorrow, man.
We'll let you know that if we get in or if we don't. Thanks for helping out.
Please do. Welcome.
Thank you.